exploring some things, but we're going to explore them kind of from a beginner's mind perspective. This is a technique that's used a lot in Buddhism, and I use it a lot in my yoga classes as well, is that feeling that, you know, when we look at the sutras, from the very first sutra, it says, now begins the study of yoga. And so with this, what I encourage people to always do is to look at this and to say, can I approach my practice each day that I come onto my mat with this beginner's mind, with this idea of, can I do this in a fresh and new way, so that I'm not doing the same thing all the time, and that you're continually looking at how can you possibly challenge your body. If it's something that you've done many times before, can you do it a little differently or in a new way that's going to help your body basically have a variety of ways in which it can operate, rather than just doing the same thing all the time. Now, my caution with this, again, is because of the nature of this teaching, of this type of format, is it's very difficult for me to see your bodies. So as always, if there's something that doesn't feel right for your body, please don't do it. If there is a way in which you can do that that is different that I'm instructing but feels better for your body, please do your practice. Please do the practice that's going to be right for you. All right, so with that said, we're going to get into our meditation. So go ahead and find your comfortable seat. If you have your supports, your blankets, or some blocks, we're going to be sitting for just a couple minutes here at the beginning of the practice, and then depending on how we do time-wise, we may be sitting again at the end of the practice. I think most of you have been joining me already for some classes or taken some classes with me before, so you kind of know the spiel about that. So getting yourself comfortable to where it feels like your sit bones are grounded, your knees, your legs feel pretty well grounded. Just do any light movements that you may want to do with your head or neck or shoulders to get yourself to be comfortable enough to sit for a couple minutes in stillness. And if you need to sit on a chair, please sit on a chair. Wherever it is that you're at, as you find your comfortable seat, go ahead and start to either find your soft gaze or close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that. Taking a couple nice full breaths. Let out some nice full exhales. Feel yourself arriving to this moment. Taking things that may be there in your mind and kind of setting them off to the side for right now. We're putting them in that basket I sometimes talk about. And just coming right now into just observing all things about your body in this moment. As you're beginning this observation of your body, what I want you to do is notice if your mind starts to come up with a whole line of chatter about your body itself. And just notice that as well. We begin with observing so that we can stay present for what is. And this is a big part of coming into a beginner's mind as well. Staying here and present moment by moment. So just notice how your body is doing today, from the tips of your toes up to the top of your head. If there's any particular place in your body that's calling its attention to you, let's see if perhaps you can feel as though you breathe into that place. Exhaling, perhaps being able to release or relax just a little bit more. Notice if any type of sensation changes as you bring your awareness to that place without judgment. And now bring in your awareness to your mind itself. And just being curious, without judgment again, of what your mind may have been busy with in the last moment or so, where you were trying to sit still and just pay attention to your body. You may also notice if there's any particular emotions that are present today. Again, honoring them. As we turn that light of awareness to mind, to emotions, honoring what's arising, and opening to it with curiosity and freshness, a beginner's moment. I don't know what my practice is going to be like. I can't predict. All I know is I'm here right now. Now come into the pattern of your breath. And again, doing this without attempting to change it, there's no need for that. Just simply noticing your breath as it is within you right now. Noticing your inhales and your exhales. What is the fullness of your breath this morning? Does it feel smooth or uneven? And now just becoming aware that we've been sitting in stillness for a couple of minutes. That there may be a change or a shift in the qualities within you. This beautiful peacefulness that can happen just from sitting in stillness for a couple of minutes. And thinking for yourself, approaching your class today from beginner's mind, what is your intention for your practice this morning? To whom or what would you like to dedicate your practice today? Having planted those seeds, then bringing your palms together in front of the heart. This is called the Anjali Mudra. And we're going to chant Om again in the Uchara manner, which means we'll pronounce it as A, resonating low in the body, U coming up around the heart center, resonating there, and the nasal sound, kind of the Om sound, kind of happening back here behind the eyes. We'll then allow the silence afterwards to rise up to the crown of the head. We'll exhale together now. And inhale. We'll practice together in awareness and joy. Namaste. As you're ready, allowing the hands to come down, softly open the eyes if you've had them closed. Let them lean back, and we're going to switch the cross of the legs if you've been sitting cross-legged. If you've been sitting in a thunderbolt position and you're comfortable there, you can always stay there. So right now, all I want you to do is once again kind of feel the sit bones grounding down. If you did shift position, and right here, just kind of take a little side to side. Just kind of feel a little bit of your body shift a little side to side. And then just nice and easily, feel it come forward a little bit and go back a little bit. Okay, look forward, lifting up the heart a little bit, back, drawing the navel towards the spine a little bit. One more time. Good. All right, so now here we're going to just take a little opening of the side body. So taking your right arm up, lifting that up and just bringing it over and getting this nice little opening, ground down through the right sit bone, through that right knee. Feel this opening. You can always use your left hand and kind of draw it towards you as if you were trying to drag it towards you. To feel a little work on that left side if you want. You don't have to do that. And just again, you may want to move a little bit while you're here, or you may want to stay in stillness and just breathe into a place. You may be feeling a little bit like it needs to get a little more open. I'm going to take about one more breath here on this side. And then inhale to bring that one on up. And bring that on down. Just for a moment, notice the two differences in your sides. How does your right side feel versus your left side? Again, being curious. How does this affect? All right, now we're going to get ready for the other side. Inhale up through the left. And again, finding where is it that you want to go on this side.
possibly activating the right side by creating that dragging action with your right hand coming in towards you. Maybe a little movement here, or just simply staying still and breathing into whatever it is that you want to feel some more openness or awareness, and getting curious with it. Again, you may have done this shape before, but today's a new day. Your cells changed overnight. One more breath. And with your inhale, bring it back up. Good. All right, so let's make a couple nice big shoulder shrugs. And then in the other direction. Good. We're going to do, some days we've started off with a Kapalabhati breathing, where I've had you bring your arms up like this. And we're going to start off just a little bit differently, just slightly different. And this breath is called a streaky. It's sometimes known as bellows breath. So again, it happens from down here. This is where you want to think about breathing into. Whereas Kapalabhati is simply that forceful exhale, the streaky becomes a forceful inhale and exhale, the two sides of that. Now it happens solely through the nose. You don't have to do it terribly hard. We're going to do 3 rounds of this, so you could actually, start off fairly soft and then amp it up. We're only going to do about 10 breaths each time. So if you want, you can place your hand down here to feel that you're breathing in and out from here, or just keep your hands on your legs. So it looks like this. So it's kind of like the bellows that we would use to stoke a fire. All right? So we're going to do 3 rounds, 10 breaths each. Here we go. Ready. And that's about 10. So right here, you can soften your eyes and just check out sensation in your body and notice how you feel about that. You may be feeling sensation somewhere in the middle part of your body. You may be feeling it up in your head. Just notice. Get curious. If there's anyone that got dizzy by doing that, what I'm going to suggest is that you may want to do it gentler in this next round and maybe only do somewhere between 3 to 5 minute breaths. Then go back to your normal breath. You don't want to have a feeling of dizziness. All right, for those of you guys who are doing the 10 breaths with me, again, if you want to put your hand here, we're going to enter a second round. And begin. And release back to your natural breathing. Again, noticing, observing, where you feeling the sensation. This is a way to become aware of your prana in your body, your chi, your energy. And we're going to enter into a third and final round. Again, you don't have to put your hand here. I'm just going to show you here. And we'll begin. Here we go. That should be 10. Relaxing back into your natural breath. Observing for a moment. Where and how do you experience the sensation of your prana within you? Having explored that, as you're ready to open your eyes, go ahead and lean back. We're going to stretch the legs out in front now. Go ahead and give them a nice stretch. And we're just going to start off with the toes and open up the toes a little bit and bring them back together. Open them up a little bit, and back together. One more time, open those toes and bring them back together. Now moving the toes themselves back and forth and moving that whole foot, pointing the whole foot away from you and then back and towards you. I have a little ankle injury. This is a good one for me. Back towards you. Now we're going to stretch out the outer edges of the feet out away from you and then the inner edges of the feet out and away from you.
doing that 2 more times to each side. Good. All right. Now, still leaning back, what you're going to do is either on your mat or on your floor, you're going to start to drag one of your heels in towards your body, just lightly. It's okay if it wrinkles up your yoga mat, and then you're going to stretch it back out. Now, the center doing this, right in the center, is going to hit the hamstring. This kind of more in the center of your leg. If you want, you could do this one time each direction. You can turn and rotate your foot out or in, and then do the same thing. Drag that heel back towards you, and then back out, and then to the inner. Now, depending on your body, if you've had any kind of hamstring injuries, one of those may not feel as comfortable as the other. So again, be careful with what you're doing. All right, and then a little wiggle with that leg. I'm going to do the same thing to the other leg now. I'm on my left leg. So I like to start in the center and dragging that back and forth. And I'm actually doing that twice today, just because that's what my body's feeling. So make sure that you're doing the right thing for your body. And back out. Now again, you can rotate to one direction or the other. I'm rotating externally with my leg and then dragging that heel back and then forward. And then I'm going to rotate it in the other direction, which is internal. So again, you don't have to do those, but if it feels okay, this is just a real gentle way to activate the hamstrings. All right, now lightly bring your knees up, and again, kind of take them over to one side and then the other. I'm also going to take the blanket out from underneath me as I'm doing this. And if you want a little bit more work for your abdomen and your back, you can also do this without using your hands. If that's not comfortable, keep your hands down. And just move your legs back and forth a little bit. Your legs may not go all the way down to the ground. It may be more like just going like this. That's okay. It's getting a little windshield wipering action. We're waking up the muscles on the inner and outer parts of your legs. All right. Having done that, we're going to come over onto hands and knees. I'm going sideways, but it doesn't matter which direction. I just want you to be able to see the side of my body here. So on your hands and knees, we're just going to do a couple cat-cows here, so your top of your feet can be down like mine, or you could always curl your toes under. Either way. Your knees are relatively underneath your hips, hands underneath shoulders, or a little bit ahead or behind. Now this shirt doesn't show it real well, but what I want you to do is I want you to think about keeping a little bit of activity in your abdominals, so you're not just going to kind of let them go. All right, so with this, we'll take it on the exhale. You're going to draw your tailbone down, draw that navel up and in towards the spine, and let your head release down. And then on your inhale, starting that lift up from the tailbone and lifting through the chest. And good. Let yourself go back and forth between these two, using the pattern of your breath. Feel free to make animal sounds. We can't hear you. One more time to each way. Using the length of your breath. Good. Now come up for just a moment. You're going to make fists and put your fists down on the ground. So just remember, this is a nice alternate for your wrists as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to balance on just your right knee. Start picking your left knee up. And what you're going to do is you're just going to make some gentle circles with that knee, as if you had a pencil on the front of your kneecap and you're trying to draw as big of a circle on the ground as you can. Just move that around maybe 3 or 4 times in one direction and then go back and around in the other direction. Drawing circles with your knees as if you're drawing on the floor. All right, 3 or 4 times on that side, then you're going to come down. If you want to come off of your hands in the between, before you go to the other side, come up and just stretch out your hands a couple times. And then come back. Now, this time I'm going to use bird's beak, which brings my hands up on the fingers. You can use either hands flat or like this, whichever one's more comfortable. Right knee or your other knee this time, lifting that up off the ground. And now again, drawing circles with that knee, going around in one direction. Maybe 3, maybe 4 or 5 times. And then once you've done that, you're going to go in the other direction. Again, trying to draw as big of a circle as you can. 3 or maybe 4 times. And then you're going to bring that knee down and come up onto your knees. And now
Here, we're just going to take and just move the wrists. So draw the wrists down towards the ground and back up, towards the ground, back up, towards the ground and back up. Come to neutral, and you're going to turn your hands side to side as if they're like headlights on your car. We're very happy in Costa Rica. We start to get to drive again this week. We had restrictions a lot last week. All right, so go ahead and wiggle, 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 wiggle. And we're going to come up to standing now. So come on up to standing. All right. So some of you have been here and have done this with me before. This is a little bit of a warm-up. This comes from Dan Yoga, D-A-H-N Yoga, which is a form of yoga that came out of Korea, I believe. So with this is kind of involves tapping, for those of you guys that know about tapping. So this is going through, and we're going to, oops, sorry, I'm going to try to stay away from that microphone. I keep forgetting I have on. And we're going to start up at the head. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to start this dialogue of talking to your body. And what this does is this actually plants a lot of very positive messages in your body, because if we think about what we're normally talking to our body like, a lot of times it's not very friendly. So this is planting positive messages. So you guys in your homes out loud, I'm going to suggest that you also start some phrases or things with the body parts. And even if that feels uncomfortable to you in your home, please do it silently. This is an important part of the practice, because what we plant on the inside is just as important as what we're doing on the outside. We're going to start off around the head, so some of the areas of the eyes and stuff. You may want to tap with just your fingertips. But as we get down to other parts of the body, feel free to open your palm and actually, give yourself some good tapping in those areas. Softly or as whack yourself if you want. Just keep up with these positive talking. So the other piece of this is we kind of keep a little bounce in the knee, and you kind of can do that as you're doing this as well. All right, we're going to start off on top of the head. So just tapping the top of your head, around your skull, until it starts to talk to your brain. Good morning, brain. I love you. Thank you for being so bright, for helping me think all these wonderful thoughts. I love and appreciate every single part of you, from the earliest part of my brain to the most advanced parts. You are amazing. All right, we're going to come down to my ears. Thank you, my ears. Thank you for helping me to hear all the beautiful sounds of the world, so that I can hear all of these amazing things, from music to animals to the people around me. I love you. Thank you. To your eyes. Thank you, my eyes. Thank you for helping me to see so well, for helping me to see all the varieties of things in the world, for bringing in all the visual things. I love you. Thank you. Now down to your nose and mouth. Thank you, my nose and mouth, for helping me breathe. My mouth for helping me speak, for bringing in food. I love you. Thank you so much for all you do. All right, now we're going to come down to the throat. Thank you, my throat. Thank you for helping me to bring in all of the things that I need, not only to survive, but I enjoy so much. Thank you, I love you. How about your neck now? Come back to your neck. Thank you, my neck. Thank you for holding that head on. I love and appreciate you and the ability to be able to rotate and to see so much. Thank you so much. Now come on to your shoulders. Thank you, my shoulders. I love you. Thank you for helping me carry all the things that I carry in my life. You are strong, beautiful, and flexible. I love you. Now we're going to come down to the right arm. And here's where I'm going to start to tap a little hard. Thank you, my right arm. I appreciate you. My upper arm, my elbow, my forearm, my wrist, the back of my palm. Now we're going to come to the underside. Give yourself a hand. Thank you, my hand, for helping grasp everything. The underside now of my forearm and elbow and upper arm. Now come to your armpit. How many times do you tell your armpit you love it? It smells good, it doesn't, but I love it. Because in there are all these lymph glands. You guys do amazing things. I love you. Now we're going to come across the chest. Now I'm not going to beat too hard. I usually do, but with this microphone on, I'm not. But thank your chest. Thank your lungs. Thank your heart for beating. Thank your lungs for breathing in all this beautiful air. Give yourself some good chest pounding if you want. And then we're going to come over here to the left arm. Thank you, my left arm. I love you. Thank you for being my strong partner to my right arm. Coming down the upper arm, the elbow, the forearm, down to the wrist. I love you, wrist, my hand. Give your left hand a hand. Thank you, my left hand, for helping me grab things. Now the underside of the forearm, the elbow, the upper arm. Now we're coming over here to these lymph glands, because they're just as important as the other ones. Thank you for lymph glands on this side. Thank you so much for helping process all the things in my body.
And now again, across the heart and the chest. These are important parts. Let's give them some extra love. I love you, my lungs. I love you, my heart. Thank you for feeding me. Now come into your chest and your breast. Tell them that you love them. How many times you might have told your breasts or your chest something that you didn't like? So now give your chest and some loving to your breasts. They are the givers of life for us women. Coming down now, we're going to start to come down into the rib cage. So tell your rib cage that you love it. Come down to the diaphragm muscle here. Diaphragm muscle, who helps me breathe so well. I love you. Now coming into your belly, your organs of digestion. Thank you for helping me to digest all my food. My organs now a little bit lower of elimination. Thank you for functioning so well. Good. All right, now we're going to come back. We're going to come to the tops of the shoulders. I can do it like this. However it is you want to do this, but tell the tops of your shoulders, your upper back now that you love it, your scapula. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything you're doing. Now, if you can, you're going to reach around and try to get your mid back. Thank you, my mid back. My kidneys back here, the back of my rib cage. Thank you. Now come down to your lower back. Thank you, my lower back. You are so strong and helpful for me. My sacrum. Okay, now's the best part. Get to your gluteals. Tell your butt that you love it. How many times have you told it that? Well, tell it today. Thank you, my big butt. I love you. I appreciate your strong muscles. Now we're going to come to the outsides of the hips. Thank you for helping me dance and move and do all this stuff. Now we're coming around the front of the pelvis, and I want you to come to this important spot between your belly button and your pubic bone. This is, in some Chinese systems, called the dantian. And they say in this form of Dan Yoga that even if you were to just simply do this, somewhere between 100 to 500 times a day, you would give yourself great energy. So feel this part of your body. This is our center of creativity. This is where we create life. Let's wake it up. Tell it that you love it. Thank you. I down here. All right, now we're going to come down into the inner thighs, the inner groins. Thank you, my inner groins. Thank you for being strong and healthy. Down the inside of your legs now. Inner knees, inner sides of your calves, down to your inner ankles, your arches of your feet. One foot at a time, pick it up and tap the bottom of your foot. Thank you, my right foot. I love you, my right toes. Thank you, my left foot, my left toes. Good. Now we're going to come up the front of the leg, so tapping the top of your foot. Thank you, feet. Thank you, ankles. I love you. Shins, I love you. Front of my knees, kneecaps, I love you. Now up my thighs. Thank you, you guys. Thank you for carrying me up and down the spine. Good. Now we're going to come down the outer sides of your legs. Hips again. Thank you. Oh my God, all this stuff on the outside of my legs, it holds everything together. I love you so much. The outer part of my knees, I love you. The outer part of my calves, thank you for being strong. The outer part of your ankles, thank you so much. I love you. Your outer arches of your feet, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now reach around towards the back of your legs, get your heels. Maybe lift up one foot, the other foot, thank you, my heels. My Achilles tendons, coming back up through the calves, thank you, I love you. The back of your knees. Thank them for loving them, giving them, and those wonderful hamstrings. Back to those gluteals. And now we're going to come back and around to that dantian center. And we're just going to give this a little bit more. While you're doing this, if you're feeling stable, you can always soften or close your eyes. And just again, from this kind of beginner's perspective, feel as though you're coming into your body for the very first time, getting ready to experience movement, energy, all for the very first time. And gradually slow down, thanking yourself. This whole body is one full organism that wonderfully works together. Allow your arms to come down by your sides, and just for a moment, feel perhaps a little bit more woken up sensation of your body. You may perhaps be able to trace some of the lines of energies that in yoga we talk about, or that they also talk about in Chinese medicine. If nothing else, perhaps feeling a little bit more tingly in some parts of your body, maybe your hand. Just notice what, again, feels the same or different when you first observe. Having done those observations, then go ahead and gently and softly open your eyes. And good. So now we've woken up our body a little bit. We're going to move into our sun salutations. So again, for this, most of you guys heard me at the beginning. You'll probably need You may want to have a couple bricks. You may not need them today. But if you'd like to have them for the kneeling part of the sun salutation, have them close to this side of your mat. And because we are going to get into a couple balance things, if you want to be near either a wall or have a chair or some support so that you can do some things where you may want to have a hand to give you some support, so you're going to kind of play around with that a little bit. All right, first sun salutation, we're going to take the knee down. So I'm going to put this on the side of my mat, in the middle of my mat for my knee. And again, I'm going to show you from the side in case you're not quite familiar with these. So coming towards the front of your mat. All right, let's bring the hands together in front of you. Bowing down and remembering your intention and dedication here. Remember our theme of coming into beginner's mind. Let's stay curious and open to your experience. On an exhale, remembering and bowing to your intention and dedication. On an inhale, softly opening the eyes and lifting the arms up. On the exhale, and first standing forward bend, so nice and gentle. You can always bend the knees a little bit if you wanted to have your brick if the ground feels far away. You can always leave your hands on the brick or on your legs. Take a couple breaths here. Remember, we're looking for the sensation, the center of these hamstring muscles. So you don't have to straighten your legs unless that feels really comfortable there and you're not feeling any strong pull around the sit bones or at the back of the knees. Find the place that's right for you. Let your head hang for a minute and just nod your head yes. And then nod your head no. Shake your head no. Remembering to make the best choices for you during this whole class. All right, on the next inhale, come up into a halfway position, lengthen out through the crown of the head. Exhale, bending the knees again. Come on down and take that right leg back. Bring that knee down onto your plank. Good. Now you can either come up or stay on the bricks. You can come up with your hands on this front knee if you're feeling really stable here. Lifting all the way up through the arms. Find your tailbone going down and this feeling of lifting through the sternum. Explore this a little bit. You may want to say, if my legs or my hips don't feel comfortable, maybe I want to open my legs away from them a little bit more. Maybe I want to try that scissoring action, drawing the back knee forward and the front foot back. Find a place to explore this a little bit, making it a little bit different today than you normally do. One more breath. Good. Exhale, we're going to come down. Now all we're going to do is either taking your hands onto your bricks or onto the floor. And we're just simply going to rock the pelvis back a little bit to stretch out these hamstrings now. So I'm going to lift up my front foot. Using my bricks, I'm drawing back a little bit. And you're seeking the sensations right in the center of your left or right hamstrings. 1, 2, or 3 more breaths. You may still have that knee bent a little bit, or you may be lifting the kneecap a little bit more. Good. When you're ready, you're going to come forward again. And now we're going to take the hands off the bricks, take that knee down. We're going to do our Alleluia move. So right here, you're going to come back towards a child's pose, taking your hands back towards your feet. On the inhale, come up onto the knees, lifting way up, do the light back then. And exhale, coming back down. And you don't have to come all the way back down. I'm going to come partly down, so you can heel back up. And exhale down. Do this one more time. Inhale up. Good job. And exhale, the hands back down. All right. Now right here, we're going to come onto the abdomen. So you can lower right down. You could do a push-up to come down. Or if you want, you can come with me. I'm going to come do a knee on my knees, chin, chest, like this. And then I'm going to scoot forward. My legs slide back and I end up here. Now what you may be able to see if you're watching me is I needed to scoot back a little bit so that if you have that blanket, your feet comes on the blanket. Now we're going to put the hands under the shoulders, but only use your hands if you need to. Separate your feet, hip width there a little bit more. Press the top of your feet down into the mat. Look down at the floor, don't look forward, push out through the crown of the head. Pressing down through the pubic bone, top of the feet. On your next inhale, just feel your body naturally arise with your breath. And on your exhale, feel it naturally come down. Follow this natural lifting up and coming back down. One more time. Now this next time, we're going to come up maybe a little bit higher using your back muscles. And if you can, avoid using your arms. Try to do it with just your back muscles. Pressing down again, top of the feet, pubic bone. On the inhale this time, try to see if you can lift it a little bit higher, maybe looking a little bit farther ahead, and then come back and down with your exhale. Again, twice more. Using your breath. And down, keeping the pubic bone pressing down, keeping the top of the feet pressing down. One more time. And down. Woo, woo, good job. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Come on, back up onto hands and knees. And here we're going to come into a little bit of a twist. So this is the thread the needle move. I'm going to show you this with my left hand, but you can do this with your right arm to start. One of your arms, you're going to inhale up, giving that nice twist here. Exhale, thread the needle underneath your body, maybe coming all the way onto the outside of your shoulder. Do this 3 times to each side. Inhaling up, exhaling, threading the needle. And then after your 3 times, you'll come back up and you're going to switch to the other side. Switching to the other arm, again, you'll inhale to bring that arm up. Exhale, threading the needle under. Looking for the twist to be happening in kind of that mid-back range of the thoracic spine. So your hips are hugging together. 3 times. Then coming back into your tabletop position. And then we're going to step the same foot that you took back. So if you took the right foot back like I asked you to, you're going to step that right foot forward. And you may again want to have your bricks handy if you found them handy the last time. As we come up, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work with either hands on the brick, hands here, or coming up with hands up and into the air. As you do that, again, check and make sure that your legs are feeling in just that right position. And you may want to play with a little bit different orientation than you normally have. Then finding, if it's comfortable, coming up into this asana or a kneeling lunge. Finding your tailbone going down, this lifting up through the sternum. 2 or 3 more breaths here. Maybe that scissoring action of the legs is helping you, maybe not. When you're ready, then an exhale to come back and down. And again, you can either use your hands on your blocks or you can use your hands on the floor. I'm going to bring my blocks down here. And here's where we're going to start to kind of glide back and work with opening the hamstrings just a little bit. So lifting up the toes, you can always keep a bend in the knee and you want a sensation in the center of your hamstring muscles here. So finding the place where that works best for you at, and again, maybe 1, 2, or 3 breaths. As you guys are really flexible, you may be bringing your chest closer to that thigh. This is a good stopping point. And then as you're ready, we're going to come back forward. We're going to curl the back toe under of the back leg and lift it up and step it forward, coming back into Uttanasana or a forward bend. Allow your head again to relax for a moment. Clasp onto your elbows. Take into a couple swings side to side. And then we're going to come up. You can always come up through a chair pose. Inhaling, starting to reach your arms forward, dropping the sit bones down. Pausing for a breath here. And then on the next inhale, press down at the feet, lift through the arches. Maybe let that bend. And exhale the hands back. Stopping here and pausing, observing for you. How right now does your body feel? How right now is your mind doing? How right now is your energy? As you've done those observations, softening, opening the eyes. Again, we're going to be keeping the leg up this time, so I'm going to move my blanket off of my mat. And this is also where we're going to have some things where you may feel like you want to have some support for your balance. So we're going to do this and enter this through a sun salutation. So if you want to move close to a wall, or move your mat by where you're going to be able to hold on to something for a little bit of balance. And we'll come up to the top of the mat. Finding again our starting position of Samastahiti, or the attention. Exhale, bowing your head down, remembering and returning to your intention or dedication. On the inhale, lifting your arms up, Asana. Exhale, folding forward, Uttanasana. Again, bending the knees as needed. Inhale into a flat spine position. On the exhale, we're going to take the other leg back. Take your left leg back this time. Again, I'm going to use this one. And right here, we're going to find, go ahead and bring your hands up and onto this front knee for a minute. What I want you to do is I want you to find that your two hips hugging together feel completely comfortable. And where you want to feel that at is down here in that low back area where your sacrum's at. That should feel really comfortable. So some of you may want to bend your knee a little bit more. Some of you may even want to bend that back knee a little bit. You can be on the toes of the back leg or have that back heel down. All right, from here, hug your two hips together as if you have a brick in between your legs. Now find your tailbone and see if you can draw it down, but lift from that dantian place up through the front body. Good, now bring the arms up. Find here this feeling of just an exploration of this position. What is something new that I might feel in this? Do I want to bend that front knee a little bit farther? Do you want to explore moving this front leg into a little bit different place? Maybe coming into a more of a tightrope walking or maybe into a wider set. Just find and explore that. Now those of you guys that have that back heel down, here's where I'm going to start working with some balance. Just go ahead and take your hands onto your hips. And all we're going to do is we're going to play with springing a little bit. So I'm going to first shorten my stance. And then all I'm going to play with is coming forward and then going back. Coming forward and then going back. Now some of you might want to play with this a little bit deeper, but do this maybe 3 or 4 times to each side. And those of you guys that feel like you want to find a different way of doing it, do something different with your arms. You could keep your arms up here. Explore this. Those of you guys holding on to something, use that one hand of the front leg to support yourself. And then we're going to come back to our attention. All right, how was that one? Now we're going to do the same thing with the other leg. So just kind of wiggle out as needed. If you're using a support on one side and you need to turn around so you can use it on the other side, do so. Exhale, bowing down, remembering your intention and dedication. Why you came to this crazy class in the first place. And on an inhale then, opening the eyes, starting to bring the arms up. Exhale, folding forward, coming back and into that forward bend. Inhale, lengthening the spine. Now this time you're going to step back with that other leg. So you step back with the left leg this time, you're going to step back with your right leg this time, right? Now you can find your hands on your hips and again do that same exploration we did on the other side. You may want to have that heel up or you may want to have the heel down. Whatever it is you're doing with your legs, where you want to feel the most comfortable is right here at the bottom of your spine in that sacral area and to the sides of the hips. So here you may need to bend that back knee a little bit, or you may have more or less of a bend in the front knee. Your legs may be kind of coming into more of a tightrope walking, or you may have more space. It all depends on your body. Now find here, wherever you've gotten yourself to, that draw the tailbone down a little bit more, and from the dantian, try to lift up a little bit more through the sternum. You can leave your hands down, or if you're comfortable, lift the arms up. And explore this pose. You've done this before. This is either crescent or warrior one. You've done this a lot of times if you've done a lot of yoga. So find something a little bit different right now. How can you explore sensation here and create a little bit of difference for your body? Good. Now the exhale, either bring your arms down or not, and you maybe want to shorten your stance a little bit. And here's where we're going to spring forward and back a little bit. So finding again, if you're using support, find your hand on your support. Those of you without support may just keep your hands down here and explore kind of springing back and forth. You may explore with your arms in a little bit different position to challenge your body a little bit more if you want more challenge, or just keeping yourself centered and grounded and finding the spring and exploring here. Once you've done that again about 3 or 4 times, step yourself back forward and find again your attention pose. I can't remember my Sanskrit. Samasthiti. Close your eyes. Check in with body, breath, mind, energy. How's this feeling? Are you still able to stay within that beginner space? As you're ready, softly opening your eyes. Now what I want to show you is this next one that we're going to do. And I'm going to show you again from here, and then we'll enter into it. So with this one, what we're going to do is we're going to end up going into, I'm going to have you step back. You're going to step back, and we're going to come into kind of a warrior two position. What we're going to do is, again, we're going to explore warrior two. So as I show you from the front, classic warrior two is something like this. So what I'm going to ask you to explore is, again, how it feels back here. So explore a little bit, maybe bringing this knee a little bit over here. So now my pelvis is angling more here, but boy, I feel a lot more comfortable back in that area. When I line up with my original teacher's instructions of my front heel lining with the arch of my back foot, now I'm starting to feel a light pinch on the right side of that sacroiliac. So just for a moment, go ahead and get yourself on your mat where you're going to have your right foot forward, your left foot back, and find kind of the posture of warrior two. So the front knee bends, the back leg's staying straight, but explore a little bit how it feels in your sacroiliac area, between your sacrum and your iliac bones. Maybe moving this foot so you have a little bit more space in between your two heels, or maybe not. Maybe having this back foot kind of angled out at a 90 degree, or maybe turning in a little bit. Explore that, and now go up and down with this knee. All right. Finding the place again. I have a little ankle thing going on, so it doesn't feel too comfortable for me to go too deep. I'm going to stop about right here. Now I found my comfortable position. All right, let's inhale from here and bring the arms out. Classic warrior two. Be that warrior. Look down that front finger. But be the warrior that's showing up for the warriorness on this very first day of being a warrior. How does this feel right now? Is there any small shifts or changes that I can do to maybe make this feel a little bit more stable, yet strong? One more breath. Now go ahead and bring your hands again down to your waist. Now watch for a moment. Here's what we're going to do. Remember how we sprang last time? So I'm going to shorten my stance a little bit again. And then here's the spring. I'm going to actually spring towards my back leg. So I'm going to turn my toes straight out here. And then from this front leg, I'm going to just try to jump back. Right? Now what we're going to eventually maybe jump back into is possibly some form of a tree pose. All right? But it's a dance, so just play with it. Some of you may just want to simply stay fairly stable and come to here. Some of you may want to have that wall or that chair to support yourself on. And some of you may want to do all kinds of crazy things. So again, maybe 3 to 5 times. Play with this. You could imagine you have a sword in your hand and you're kind of saying, en garde, as you come back forward. Woohoo! Now, as you come back, just kind of turn yourself towards that long side of your mat. You can stay with your feet hip width or shorter together. Bring your hands again back into your heart. Soften or close your eyes for a moment again. Notice if you're feeling something different on the two sides of your body. How's it feeling in the hips, the legs, abdomen, heart, mind? Checking with all those things. Staying present, staying in that beginner's mind. All right, you're ready. You've done the observations. Again, go ahead and open the eyes, soften the eyes. Now we're going to take our warrior two to the other side. So your left foot will be your front foot. Go ahead and start to find your warrior two position. Play with it a little bit. Remember that you again want to feel comfort back here around the sacroiliac joint. So you may want to have a little bit more space in between the heels. Just check that out, or not. How far do you want to bend that knee? How comfortable is the stretch on the back leg? Is your low back still feeling great? All of those things hopefully are there. Once you found that then, and you're ready, we're going to go ahead and take the arms out again, finding that warrior two, the classic warrior two. Turn and look down that front finger. And again, try to find that this is the first time that you've ever done this warrior two on this side with these legs at this moment. So find and feel what is new and different about this. Can you contact a different part of your body than you've ever felt before? Can you feel just that right balance of both flexibility and strength? Good job. All right, now with this, we're going to start bringing the hands down. And again, you're going to make sure your back foot probably is going to want to be at a fairly close to a 90 degrees out here. And then here's where we're going to start to practice springing back to here. So it may just simply be, some of you may be just kind of drawing that foot back to keep finding that stability. That's a fine way to work with it. Some of you may want to explore a little bit more and work with stuff like that. Maybe moving the arms around or not. Maybe dance with where you come into. Let's do this explore a couple more times. Good job, everyone. Looks like some fun warrior two dancing. And then we're going to come back kind of again to the middle. Maybe feet underneath the hips, maybe wider or more narrow. And again, samasthiti, let's bring the hands back to bowing down and just noticing, were you able to stay in that beginner's place? Were you able to explore with curiosity? Perhaps with a sense of play, without judgment? What came up? And I apologize for those of you guys who may not have been able to hear me. Wow, now my microphone is back on. Jeez, sorry about that. All right, softly opening the eyes. Go ahead and bring your hands down. Shake out the legs and the arms a little bit. All right, so this difference in doing some things a little differently can be really helpful for our body. So we're going to take this now into something that's a little bit more challenging for balance. So those, again, if you guys want to be by your supports, be by your supports. I'm also going to show you there's a way to do this with having the chair here and not. So I'm going to show you first with using a chair. So we have a pose in yoga. Actually, I'm going to have it on this side. Where we come down, and it's kind of like warrior two, except we come down either with hands to the knee or hands down to the ground. And then we do this, our side angle. So the way we're going to do this today is now we're going to start to work a little bit more with kind of popping up and playing with this. So if I wanted to explore this without a chair, I'd be here. I'm going to create this feeling of my knee and my elbow kind of hugging into each other. So my knee is working that way, my elbow is working that way. And they provide a stability and a lock. So from having that stability and lock, instead of going into our Parsvakonasana, our side angle, what I'm going to do is bring my hand here and then start to play with, can I come up and start to balance it all on this leg? Now this is my ankle that bothers me, so I really am not going to be able to do that well on this ankle. However, if that's the case, then using a chair will be my aid. So instead of coming down and onto that leg, I'm going to be up a little bit higher, and I'm going to use my hand here on the chair, and now I can start to come up and play a little bit, and I've got a little bit more support for my ankle that I hurt this past week. All right? So if you want, having your chair or possibly even a wall ahead of you for that support. So everyone come into your warrior two position again with your right leg forward. Have a chair or possibly a wall ahead of you if you'd like for support. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start to bring your right elbow now down towards that knee. Find that place where you can kind of create that lock between the elbow and the knee. So the knee is trying to press inward, the elbow is pressing outward. You create the strength there. From your back leg then, shorten your stance. Maybe come up onto the toes of your back leg. Find a gazing spot perhaps on the floor. And then start to explore lifting up, but keep that arm and that leg together. Do whatever you need to do with your other arm to help yourself. Some of you guys are going to be able to come up and maybe find a balance there. Some of you are going to find you're going to dance back and forth between the ground and that, but just play and explore. Be a beginner. You've never done this before.
possibly. One more time of exploring on this side. And then come back up. Turn to the middle. And we're going to go over to the other side. So finding your other leg. Find that left knee, left elbow. Again, if you're using supports, find your support. Chair might be ahead of you or finding the wall. And then start to play. Create that lock. So if you're not using the knee and the elbow, just imagine it's there. Get really strong in that leg and start to maybe lift up through that back leg. Play with it. Dance with it. Coming up and down a couple times. Finding this new approach. Something different for your body to do. It might not have done before. If you can stay up and hover in that balance, great. If not, just dance one or two more times up and down. Once you're done with that, then start to come back and up. Turning towards this long side of your mat. And all we're going to do is we're just going to do a really nice and easy, fairly wide leg forward bend. Again, with either your chair or your blocks. For my body, as I go into a wide leg forward bend, I either like to have my toes going straight forward or my heels slightly wider than my toes. There's a few rare people that it actually feels better in that sacral area to have your toes out lightly. If you're one of them, please do so. If not, find the one that's going to be right for you. All right. Take a nice big inhale. And on the exhale, let yourself come down first into a flat spine position. Making sure that, again, the back of your legs and those hamstrings, you're getting the sensation in the middle part of the muscle. Ground down through all the corners of your feet, lifting your inner and outer arches. Inhale here, and only if it's comfortable, exhale, start to lengthen down, allowing the crown of your head to come down towards the ground, towards possibly your blocks, finding the supports that you need, feeling the weight coming evenly between your heels and your toes. Good. All right, now I have my people here, and we're going to take about 5 more breaths here. Allow your exhales to deepen. Feel your breath coming in and feeling all the muscles around your legs. It works so nicely for you. Did a little different stuff for you today. Let your brain drain a little bit more. You can always stay for a few more breaths. If you're ready to start coming out, maybe start to bring yourself up more into a flat spine position. You can always bend your knees lightly as you need to. If you want, you can bring your heels and then toes in a couple times, a little closer together. Even bringing your hands on your knees and inhale up nice and easily. Good. And then either continue with that heel toe or jump your feet together. Good job. All right, we're going to come down and onto the mat. We're going to do a couple things here. We're going to first do a nice twist, and that's going to be the twist of Matsyengasana. This is sometimes called, I think, mermaid's twist. So with this, you're going to have yourself towards your right hip. Your legs kind of sweep over here to the left side. So you see my right knee is bent and my right foot's actually contacting my left thigh, and my left leg is like this. If for any reason this isn't comfortable, you can always go back to doing something like this, getting the knees a little bit closer together. Some of you may also feel like you want a little support of a blanket underneath this right hip. I'm fairly comfortable here. I'm not completely square in my hips. If that doesn't feel right, again, take a blanket and put it underneath your right hip. My right arm's going to come here and kind of be over here close to my right hip. And all I'm going to do is a couple times taking your left hand back and behind and then sweep it up and over. And I'm moving my pelvis as I'm doing this. You notice I'm pushing down into my legs and my left hip actually lifts up as I come up and over. If that's not comfortable, don't do that. 1 or 2 more times of this. Now this time, maybe explore something different. Maybe you want to reach out to a different place with that arm or come down towards the ground with that arm and then come back. If you're feeling comfortable, what you can also do is instead of staying with your hands here, if you want, you can start to move yourself down and onto your elbows. Some of you may actually be able to bring your head down towards the ground and then hold whatever position feels comfortable. either with arms out like this, maybe coming down towards the ground on the elbows, or with your head resting on your hands, and hold for about 5 to 10 more breaths. Breathing into this twist, breathing into your body, your back, your hips, exploring the sensations within this, staying curious. When you've done the number of breaths that feels right for you, then nice and easily, maybe if you've come all the way down to the ground, bring your hands under your shoulders and start to gently lift it back and up. Good, and we're going to move the legs and come over to the other side. If you want to stay there for a couple more breaths, feel free. You can always catch up to us. So again, on this side, notice, does it feel more comfortable if you put a little blanket underneath there? Or maybe on this side, you'd prefer to have your knees together versus in this more open position. Left hand comes over here and is a support for your back. It's over there by that hip. And again, we're just going to kind of bring the arm back and start off with just some dynamic movement, finding here that as you sweep over towards the left, you kind of lift up through that right hip if that feels comfortable. Although don't do that if that doesn't feel comfortable. Feeling this here. Now again, at about this place is where you may want to explore reaching to a different place, maybe just out or a little bit lower or even down towards the ground. Doing that a couple more times. And then as you're ready, finding a place where you can move into and hold this twist in a static manner. So that may mean for some of you, might be just staying here and supporting yourself with your arms and softening your eyes. You may be able to come down onto the elbows. Some of you may even want to make a little rest for your forehead. Finding the place that's right for you, holding, breathing, exploring. How is my body in this moment, right now? Then again, whenever it is you're ready, you can always stay for a few more breaths, starting to bring your hands lightly under your shoulders and gently bringing yourself on up. And I'm going to have you come onto your back now. We're going to come into a bridge pose. And so bridge pose, again, you can do this as an active pose. If you are feeling like you don't want to do it as an active pose, if you have a brick or two, you can do it as a supported pose. We haven't done too much in the way of back bends for this class, so we want to counterbalance by using this as our counterbalancing pose. So coming onto your back, the standard alignment is heels in line with the hips, but you can take them a little bit wider, a little bit more narrow. Some of you may actually enjoy having the brick in between your knees to kind of hug into as you come up, whatever it is that works for your body. Now with this, we're going to take and just lift up and down with breath a couple times. So just having your hands by your side, use an inhale to start peeling your spine off of the ground and an exhale to gently lower back and down. As you do this, see if you can get in touch with each one of the bones of your spine as they lift, 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 lift into the upward portion of this. And then on your exhale, feel the reverse, vertebrae by vertebrae, your body lowering nice and slowly down into the ground. Again, possibly 3 to 5 times of that. And then we're going to move it into either holding it as an active position or using your block for a restorative bridge pose, whichever one is going to feel right for your body. As you're ready, lifting up, those of you guys doing it actively, you may want to clasp your hands underneath you and wrap the upper arms under, creating this lift, finding the position that's right for you. Those of you that would rather do it as a supportive pose, bringing your block under. I like to put the block across the sacrum and the hip bones, especially if you're doing it as restorative pose. I think that's a healthier way to do it. Whichever version you're doing, as you keep breathing, now control lightly in the abdomen and bring more of the breath up and into the chest, the throat area. Those of you guys holding it actively, you're going to find at some point you want to release the arms and come on down. Please do so. Those of you guys in your restorative pose, you can soften and close your eyes. Feel the breath, whichever version of this that you're doing, moving up and into the chest, into the throat, supporting the bravery, the freshness of this moment. Those of you guys that are actively doing this and you're ready to come down, you're going to unwind the shoulders and come down. Those of you guys in the restorative pose, please feel free to stay for at least another minute. Those of you guys who've done this actively as you come down, just finding what motions are helping your body, maybe lightly swaying your knees side to side, or you may even want to draw your knees into your body. Those of you guys doing this as a restorative pose, within the next couple breaths, go ahead and just strengthen into your feet. Start to lift your hips up and off of your block. Take that block out. And a nice long exhale to again come back and down to the ground. Good job. All right, so now as you're back down on the ground, all I'm going to do is I'm going to suggest that you may want to do a light and easy twist here on your back, a reclined twist. So if you want to, bring your knees over to your left. If you're ready, if it feels like you don't need that twist, the next thing we're going to do after this is going to be going into Shavasana. So please do feel free to start getting your supports ready for Shavasana. Those of you guys that are doing your reclined twist, take maybe 5 to 10 breaths on each of the sides, finding whatever release that you may want to have on this one. Allowing yourself to just release any leftover tension in either your hips or your low back. Then bring yourself on over to the other side, releasing down into that side as well. Take some lovely breaths there. And whenever it feels like you have balanced out that side, starting to once again bring your legs on up. Just see if there's any other last movements that your body would like you to do before you get ready to lay back and come into our corpse pose or Shavasana. If you haven't done a lot of classes with me before, I'm very insistent that this is one of our more important poses. So we're actually going to take close to 10 minutes for this, because that's a minimum amount of time that your body may need to be able to relax. So make sure that you have the right support to make the back of your neck and your head feel comfortable. If you want anything underneath your knees, a blanket roll or a pillow or something underneath them, that you have just the right supports for you to be able to come into lying in stillness for this amount of time. Once you have all of those supports in place, what I want you to do is I just want you to feel where your back body is contacting the floor. And do any last wiggles that you might need to feel comfortable. So wiggling your legs a little bit, making sure that the back of your heels and your sacrum are in just the right spot. Wiggling the back of your shoulders, your shoulder blades a little bit, that your arms are in just the right spot. Maybe moving your head just lightly, side to side, so that you feel that the back of your head is in just the right position. Those of you guys that feel like you can relax a little bit more with something covering your eyes, just a light covering over the eyes can sometimes help as well. Closing your eyes now, softening, into the feeling of every part of your body being completely supported now by Mother Earth. Starting with the feet, take your breath down into the feet and relax completely all the muscles of the legs and the feet. Take your breath down into your lower legs from your knees through your ankles. And on some nice full exhales, feel the lower part of your legs soften down into the earth, completely relaxing. Breathe now into your thighs, your upper legs. Your exhales, feeling your upper legs now softening and relaxing deeply into the ground. Breathe into your pelvis and your hips. Let your exhales soften your pelvis, your hips, all the way down into the earth. Completely supported, the lower part of your body now relaxed. Now I'll invite your breath to come into your abdomen and your low back, and to feel your exhale softening your abdomen, navel relaxing and softening down, your low back well supported, feeling comfortable. Breathe now into your rib cage, moving into the middle part of the back, softening with your exhales the feeling of your rib cage into the earth. Breathing now into the upper chest and back. Some nice full exhales, feeling as though your chest is softening and relaxing. Shoulder blades softening and relaxing. As if the front of your chest is just gently opening lightly more, feeling completely relaxed. And now inviting your breath to come down your arms into your hands. Using an exhale to soften your hands, to feel them relaxing. Breath into the lower arms. Exhale, softening and relaxing them. And then inviting your breath into your upper arms. Allowing your upper arms to soften and relax as you exhale. Now feel some nice full breaths in the shoulders and neck. And feel with your exhales that you're just even deeper, relaxing the top of the shoulders down. The neck softening into the earth, the throat softening and relaxing. Breathing now into your jaw, your tongue, your lips, your cheeks. Your exhale softening your tongue inside of your mouth, your jaw lightly softening and relaxing. All of your mouth feeling relaxed. And now breathing into your eyes and your forehead and brain. And your exhales, then softening your eyes down, turning them completely inward. Softening your brain. Feeling the back of your head completely supported and your forehead completely relaxed. Allowing yourself to just spend the next 5 minutes or so deepening into this relaxation. Om Bhuva Svaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Demahi Dio Yona Prachodaya. Om. So just take the time that you need to start to come back into awareness of your body, feeling how your body feels right now, lying on the floor. Coming back lightly into movement as you're ready, through your fingers and toes. Eventually moving a little bit more, maybe doing a nice big stretch. That feels good. Maybe then drawing your legs up and into your body. Coming over onto a side that feels comfortable. Take some breaths to explore there. Getting curious, what was the effects for you of your corpse pose today, your Shavasana? Whenever it is that you're ready, use your arms to help your torso come back up. So you're not lifting by hardening your abdominals. And coming and finding your comfortable seated position. We're probably going to be here for somewhere between 5 to 6 or 7 minutes. So having the supports that you need to have a tall spine. Again, it can always be a chair. Once you have your comfortable seat, then again, either closing or softening your eyes. Explore again how your body feels right now. Now that you've finished the physical asana or posture portion of the program, how does your body feel? How is your mind doing right now? What emotions are present now? How is your energy? Then taking your awareness once again to your breath and just noticing right now your natural breath pattern. Your breath as it comes in and your breath as it goes back out. Having tapped into your personal rhythm of this, what I want you to do is just notice that light pause in between your inhale and your exhale. And again, that light pause at the end of your exhale before you inhale. And all I want you to do is consider the possibility of maybe just staying in that pause just a little bit longer. If that's not comfortable, don't do it. Keep your natural rhythm going. But if you can, begin to find at the end of your inhale, just a light pause of holding your breath in. Observe. Whenever it feels right, exhale back out. And then maybe watch that pause, observe, and breathe back in. Continue this pattern. An inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Nothing that disturbs your breath or makes you feel uncomfortable. If anything like that happens, please just go back to your natural breath. But if you can, just checking in and seeing if you can elongate that natural pause just slightly longer. You should still be able to inhale and exhale freely and softly. If you find any type of gasping at either end, just simply return back to your natural breath. And whichever one you're doing, whether it be the pause or just watching your natural breath, in the next breath, I want you to imagine that your breath is beginning at a point about a foot above the crown of your head, coming in through the center of your head, all the way down in to the lower part of your heart. If you're pausing, you'll hold the awareness there. And then exhale from that heart back and up through your central part of your body, right in front of the spine, through the crown of the head and back up here to this place, about a foot or so above your head. Pausing there. Inhaling down into the bottom of the heart, sitting right above the diaphragm, holding, observing. Then your exhale coming from that place up just in front of the spine, through the crown of the head, up to about a foot above your head, and pause. Continuing with this pattern. Inhale into the bottom of the heart, pause, observing. Exhaling back and out from the heart up through the crown of the head to that point above the head, and observing. Three more breaths in this manner. Staying curious. And after you've finished your third breath like that, just relaxing back into your natural breath pattern, releasing the visualization and checking in with your body, mind, awareness, breath, emotions. After you've done your observations, bringing your palms together in front of the heart, and bowing to honor all you are and all you experience. May we continue to find the freshness of each moment, the presence of each moment, the awareness of each moment. We'll close our practice like we began with a single chant of Om, again resonating the Ah low, the Oo in that heart center, the nasal sound in the nasal passages, and allowing the silence to ride back up to that place above the head. Exhaling together and inhaling. Namaste. Thank you so much for your practice today. Thank you guys for your practice today. And I'm going to